Hey everybody, just Jessie here. I thought we would do a nice little catch up with the WIP and chat. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I sure do appreciate it. If you don't know what a WIP is just where I work on my work in progress. So this WIP is Witchy Greenhouse from Diamond Art Club. And chat, WIP and chat. Chat is where I just chat, talk to you, talk to myself, tell you all about what's going on in life and anything else I can think of, because I sure as heck didn't write anything down. So I'm going to zoom you in on the section that we're going to be working on, which is this section right here, Creature of Habit. I'm using my Diamond Art Club Twist and Pick pen with a 6-place multi-placer. I have the blue art dot putty, and my tray is from Unimade, and it's their small tray. And it kind of matches all the green, doesn't it? So let me zoom you in, and then I will sit down and get started. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to apologize in advance. Some people may not like that I'm using a light pad, but unfortunately, if I don't use the light pad, my eyes get super tired. So light pad it is. Okay, I'm pulling out tweezers to help me get this perforated section up. This is the section we will be working on. And so the way I like to do my sections, everyone does things differently. I don't even do it the same every single time. But because I'm working this way on this row, I like to start in this area and then kind of like work my way up, so that as I'm working, I'm putting my hand on drills and not on the gluey canvas. So I'm going to start with this double lined, slanted line, whatever you want to call it. This one. Right here. I'm going to pour it in my tray and we can get started. Well, how is everybody? I have not been making videos like I wanted to. Life had, it's so funny. The start of April, life was nice and quiet and slow, and I was making videos and having a grand old time. And then middle of April happened and life went crazy. Okay, sorry, I was checking my phone. So my son got his license a few weeks ago, but he just now felt super comfortable to drive himself to work today. So this was his first day driving to work. And of course, nervous Nelly mom, I made him text me when he got there, and he has to text me when he's leaving so I can stalk him on the Find a Phone app and keep my eye on him. I'm so proud of him that he's doing it, that he took the initiative and really wanted to drive today. It's a beautiful day out. It's just really nerve-wracking because he doesn't have a lot of, experience, and people are just crazy on the roads. People aren't very considerate sometimes. They do crazy things, as I'm sure everybody knows. None of us do any of the crazy stuff, right? It's everyone else. So it's definitely nerve-wracking, but you have to give them their independence. And so this is one small step in me letting him be a grown-up. He'll be 18 in October, so I have to start, trusting that he has the judgment and the ability to make these big leaps into independence, and he's doing a good job so far. So actually, we'll start talking about him. He is wrapping up his junior year of high school, just a few more weeks. They had a induction ceremony for Beta Club the other week, and he said I can post a picture of the two of us, so I will post that. And that was really neat. I ended up being the Uber mom for a few of his friends who had parents who weren't able to attend the induction ceremony. It was at a, hold on, I'm going to grab a sip. It was at, I think it started at about 5:30. So there were some parents who just weren't able to make it for various reasons. His father wasn't able to make it because my son didn't tell him until the very last minute, and his dad had decided to drive over to Dallas that day to pick up my son's older brother. So he has a brother who's 3 years older than him, and he lives in Dallas with his mom and her husband. And so my son's father wanted to pick him up for Easter weekend. So he was driving to Dallas the day we had the Beta Club induction ceremony. And of course, my son didn't tell him about it until the night before the ceremony. So it's okay. I went, I took pictures, I sent him a video. Here's Ash. All right, y'all, I'm back. Sorry about that. We had some battle of wills between my cat and I. He wanted to get on the canvas, and I wanted him to lay down near the canvas. We'll see what happens. Okay. Where was I? All right. So, yeah, Beta Club induction was a lot of fun. This was his first year in Beta Club. He had been in National Honor Society in junior high, and then he was invited to join National Honor Society in high school, but he procrastinated when it came to doing the essay that he had to fill out. So he ended up not doing National Honor Society, which, it's fine. It is what it is. But Beta Club, he liked that it's pretty much the same thing. You just didn't have to fill out an essay. So I like it. Beta Club, I never did Beta Club, so I didn't really know what it was, but it's one where it focuses on good grades, and then also on community service, helping others, volunteering. So he last year volunteered for toy drives during the holiday season, and then this semester he volunteered to work a local tennis tournament that was a big charity fundraiser. So he had a good time. He knew a lot of the people that were doing the tennis thing because his father's a tennis player. And so he knows a lot of people through his dad, and he enjoyed it. In fact, he met up with a friend that he used to play tennis with, and they started playing again every Wednesday. So that was a good little benefit from him volunteering for that weekend. And let's see, what else has he been up to? Well, we have Ring Ding coming up. This is the next one that we're working on. Ring Ding is in a few, I think it's next week, not this coming week, but the week after. I think it's the 6th of May. And so we're going to do that. He didn't want a class ring, but he did want something. So him and his dad picked out a watch that he's really excited about. I'm happy for him. I didn't have Ring Ding. I moved to Louisiana my junior year of high school, and I wasn't really happy that I was moved my junior year of high school. So I kind of ended up going to an alternative program. It wasn't like alternative school for bad kids. It was just this alternative to regular high school where you went half a day. You'd either go the morning session or the afternoon session. And you had your schedule, you had your classes, but you kind of made up your daily schedule. So let's say, I think you had 4 classes assigned to you, and you would go to your homeroom first thing in the morning and get your kind of like a time card. And you would decide, okay, I'm going to go to English first. Maybe today was a day where the history teacher had office hours, so you couldn't go first thing in the morning. So you would go to history class first, or you go to your English class first, and then you signed in. And then once you sign in, you have to stay for X amount of minutes, let's say 30 minutes, but then you could decide you want to go to a different class. So long as you went for your 4 full hours and you hit the classes that were open and available to you, you could spend a lot of time in one class and then hit your, optional hours in your other classes, just whatever you wanted to do that day or felt like you needed to do. You went at your own pace, which was really neat. So let's do English again. Let's say I really liked English. So I spent a lot of time in English, and I would do all the reading and tell the teacher, hey, I'm ready to take this unit test. And she would give me the test and I would take it. So you could kind of control the pace of your class. If you're really struggling with something, you could spend more time learning it and getting help from the teacher. And then if something was just really easy, or something, you didn't really need a lot of time, you got it, the concepts really fast, you could kind of breeze through it. Like English was an easy one, civics, history, those are my easy ones. And then the hard one was algebra 2. I spent a lot of time in algebra 2, and the teacher really helped me, worked with me one-on-one. But that was my senior year experience. So very different from what he's doing, the mainstream experience, but he really likes it. This is really what he wanted. So I'm happy that we were able to help him achieve these little high school goals. So I'm excited about Ringding. I've never been, and I don't really know what to expect, but I really like seeing him in his element with his friends and at his school. So it'll be neat. And then other than that, for him, he's been working his little job. He was a little disappointed. They had originally talked about kind of teaching him more, like how to work the drive-through and kind of customer facing. And he was excited about that for the summer. And then they just told him the last day that he worked that they were probably going to do that with someone else, and he was going to stay doing what he's been doing. So he was a little disappointed, and I get that. We can have little disappointments, and then it's kind of, well, what do you feel like you need to do? He was a little disappointed just because he was kind of looking forward to learning more and having more hours and more responsibility. I told him, just talk to the manager and see, like, okay, well, is there anything I can do so that I can start getting more hours? Is there anything I can learn, and anything you need to see from me? We'll see. And I also told him this isn't his permanent job, so if he's feeling like that's as far as he's going to be able to go in this little job for various reasons, then maybe it's time to start looking for something else that's going to have a little bit of a growth opportunity for a high schooler. So we'll see. It's hard sometimes to know when to listen without giving advice, and then when to advise. Because sometimes he's just like, Mom, I just want to tell you my problem. I don't need you to tell me how to fix it. And as his parent, I want to fix the problem. And I also want to yell at the kids who are mean to him if anyone's mean. No one's been mean lately, but just in case, I want to yell at them. I don't. I let him handle his problems, and then I just kind of support him wherever I can. And then me. So the week of Good Friday, that week right before Easter, was my last week. Actually, Thursday the 17th was my last day at my previous job. And I'd spent really those 2 weeks that I'd put my notice in, I really spent that 2 weeks just hustling to get as much off my to-do list as I possibly could, just because I felt really guilty leaving, knowing that there's so much work already on everyone's plates, and the 2 people that were taking over my work were already overextended. And so I had a little bit of of guilt, I guess. So I was trying to get as much done as possible. That's just me. Like, I don't like the idea of leaving work for other people. It's just not who I am, I guess you could say. So I really worked hard to get as much, to make the transition as smooth as possible, because there's just gonna, unfortunately, there was just stuff that I couldn't get to. There was just a lot of stuff, because I had to also add those two people to everything that I was already on, and that was time consuming. And then just a bunch of other stuff that kept popping up throughout the 2 weeks that I was trying to get everything in tip top shape. But that's just kind of the nature of what I do. Research doesn't stop. Research doesn't slow down. And regulatory just is like drinking from a fire hose. You just kind of put your head down and do what you can, and you never have a clean to-do list. You always have a to-do list where you're just constantly, some days it feels like you're just constantly adding to it and you're not really marking anything off. And then there are days where you get a lot accomplished and you feel really good. And usually the next day is when like the dumpster fire erupts right in your face. But it's okay. I enjoy it. I kind of like the chaos. I always feel like with what I do, I'm taking chaos and I'm organizing it, and I'm kind of maintaining the chaos, containing the chaos, if you will. So then this past week, Monday, the 21st, I believe, I started my new job. So I've been there for 1 whole week, and it was a lot. You know, that first, like that Monday, I got my laptop from the new job. Probably that Thursday or Friday before I started. And I tried to get it set up before I had to be on the computer Monday morning, just because I was worried that something would go wrong and I didn't want to be late. And of course, it wouldn't set up. It would do its thing, and then it would just tell me there was an error. So since it was Easter weekend, I didn't really, hold on one second. Sorry, my cat found something to try to eat that was not something that she should be eating. So I had to, unfortunately, take that away from her. So yeah, so the laptop. So I tried to get it set up that weekend before I had to be on the clock Monday morning, and it wouldn't set up. And since it was Easter weekend, I really didn't want to, bug anybody. So I emailed them first thing Monday morning, and luckily the IT guy was already in the office, and it ended up, I had to kind of reset the computer, and then he had to FaceTime me so he could tell me what to do, to where he could remote in and finish setting it up for me. So it was stressful, but he was super awesome, super nice. And luckily, because there was one other person starting that day, actually, she was someone that I worked with at my most recent company. She left at the same time I did and started the new company the same time I did, which was really awesome, because her and I were able to like text each other and talk about like, oh my gosh, did you get this? Did you get that? I'm having computer issues. Are you having computer issues? So she was having computer issues also. So I ended up having to log in on my personal computer while my work computer was updating, and start attending meetings, because I didn't want to hold anyone up, right? You don't want to be causing problems your first couple of days there. And they had me on a kind of a tight meeting schedule, just kind of meeting up with everybody. But I survived. It all worked out. It's really cool. I went from a really big, I guess, company to one that has, I think they're around 100 or so employees, and it's nice to be back to a smaller company. It's just more personal. They're able to really, I don't know, you're just able to meet with people and really kind of establish face-to-face contact with them, I guess. I'm really excited. I really am super excited for this next week where I can start digging into actually what I'm going to be doing. The first week was kind of familiarizing myself with their systems and kind of their business model, and then next week will be me kind of really starting to dig into my actual role and what I'll be doing, and I'm really excited about that. I really like the manager that I'm reporting to. Her and I share a lot of the same views on things, and we have the same philosophy on kind of what we do and how we approach certain aspects of our job. So I really like that. I think her and I will work really well together. The team seems to be really awesome. I know one gal who's been there since the fall. Her and I used to work together as well. So I feel really good. And then the other two that I didn't know are super awesome, super sweet. One of them was ones that I interviewed with when I was interviewing in the interview process, and the other one I met this week, and they both reached out to me personally and were like, hey, if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out. So I'm really excited to work with them. I think it'll be really good. I think this company is just really positive. I really like that they encourage feedback, that they want you to ask questions, and if you see an easier way to do something, or if you're doing something that they implement and you're like, hey, this isn't working, they really encourage the feedback. Different from the company I just left, where you felt like if you spoke up too much, you were kind of a problem child. And I think towards the end, people were getting really scared to speak up because they didn't want to be put on a list and, let go eventually. So it was it's just a really cool environment. And I laughed. So they sent a little swag box, which I was not expecting. And I thought that was pretty cool. But the girl that started the same time I did, she got like a shirt, a cup, a notepad. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I got mine just the other day. And I don't know why it was different. I'm not complaining. I thought it was cool and it made me laugh. I got a really nice like zip up sweater, which I will use because I get cold, especially when my son's home. His room gets hot, so he always wants the AC on colder than what I like it on. So that'll come in really handy for that. And then I got the zip up sweater, and then they sent me these white branded tennis shoes, which cracked me up. I was like, oh, okay, I've never seen that before. But they're really lightweight and they're going to be perfect for rowing because I have a rowing machine that's right behind my desk, and I don't know how to row barefoot. There are people who will row barefoot. I'm not one of them. So it's great to have a good pair of shoes that I can wear, that I honestly leave them strapped into the foot pedals, because anything I can do to minimize the not wanting to row, I try to do that. So yeah, I'll let you know how they fit. I haven't tried them on yet, but that was pretty cool. And then, work, the first week was just a lot of trainings, a lot of videos and watching, and a lot of meetings, which they do have a lot of meetings, and they want you all on camera for those meetings so you can be kind of face to face, which makes sense. It's hard, I think, when you're remote to kind of establish a personal connection if you don't have that camera on. So it's just getting used to it. The company I was just with, nobody turned their cameras on. I couldn't even tell you what my manager looked like. I could tell you what she sounds like, and I could identify her voice through her voice, but I could walk past her on the street and not even know I walked past her because I've never seen her on camera. So I don't mind. It's just funny. It's just having to get used to it again. And my cat Ash, the gray cat, he's already been a star of a few meetings. He liked to show everybody his beautiful, sweet face and then his rear end as well. So luckily they like pets, because that, you know, what can you do? Like, I don't like the idea of shutting him up in my room while I'm trying to be on a meeting, but if I have to, I will. Um, I don't want to though. And it's funny, like most of the time he sleeps in his little bed right next to my desk. Doesn't hop up on the desk, doesn't care what I'm doing. But the minute that camera came on, boy, he just wanted to be on my desk. So it is what it is, right? And then let's see, personal wise, the other weekend I went with a friend and his new girlfriend to the symphony. There's a local band that plays hits from the 90s, and they teamed up with the symphony for a night, and it was so much fun. We really didn't know what to expect. We have sorry, I was checking to see if my mic was on. We've gone to see this local band lots of times. Just, oh my god, they're so much fun. And so we didn't really know how they were going to incorporate the symphony. And this band can play, I mean, they play Coolio, they play Goo Goo Dolls, they play Matchbox 20 songs, they play, I mean, all the top hits from the 90s, really. So that night they played a lot of cinematic, like songs from soundtracks. Like the best one that they did, honestly, was from the City of Angels soundtrack. It was Alanis Morissette's Uninvited. One of the guys has the range to really just nail the Alanis Morissette songs. It's amazing. He's so good. So good. He sounds like her, which is awesome. That was probably one of the best songs. And I'll show some video. I won't play the sound, but I will try to show video if it transfers okay, or at least some pictures. Just great. It was so much fun to watch the symphony and these guys perform. I liked seeing the juxtaposition between your season ticket symphony holders and then a lot of the band's fans, because, you know, it's a little different. Fun though, so much fun. I hope they do it again. I would definitely go. We had great seats. It was a great time. Tickets weren't too expensive, just really fun. And then the Easter Sunday, my best friend and I went to the movies. So they re-released Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley, Matthew McFadden version. And her and I got tickets and we went to go watch that. And it was so much fun. I've loved that movie, and I just fell in love with it even more on the big screen. And I really thought it was so cool that I could really kind of see it as it was meant to be seen. And then I could, sorry, I'm trying to find another color. Let's do this one. I could see it on the big screen kind of as it was meant to be seen. And then the cool thing was I could also hear snippets of like background conversation that I never really heard before, just being at home watching it on the TV. And I thought that was really neat. And I just absolutely loved it. Absolutely had a blast. And the popcorn was really good. And can't complain about that, right? So it was a lot of fun. Her and I had bought us shirts to wear, like true dorks. And of course, we forgot to take pictures, but that's okay. We had a good time. It was good seeing her. We don't see each other as much as we both would like. So anytime we get to hang out, we've been friends for 25 years. Yeah, I was 18, 43. So yeah, 25 years. Or is it? Yeah, sorry. For a minute there, I was thinking it was more than 25 years. Yeah, that's a long time. And I love her. She's my sister. Really. She's the one in the group of friends. She's the one everyone always gravitates towards hanging out at her house. And she likes to cook. So she'll cook us food and we'll all hang out and play video games or play board games and swim, have a great time. So yeah, it was good seeing her. I miss the life, the times that we were able to hang out a lot more before life got crazy, I'll just say. I meant to see if she wants to hang out next weekend, actually. And I've also been working our local hockey teams, hockey games, and then we had a local arena football team. So I've been working those games, selling tickets or scanning the tickets at the door, whatever they need me to do. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun to get out and support our local team. Unfortunately, the hockey team lost in the first round of playoffs, so that season is over until next fall, but it's okay. It was a lot of fun. The arena football team is still going strong. They're just having some issues. It's their first year. There's lots of growing pains and lots of things that hopefully if they decide to come back next year that they'll be able to improve upon. I think the owners didn't really want to listen, let's say, to the hockey team owner and like management about how they run things. They wanted to try to do it their own way. And I think what they've quickly realized is that it doesn't always work. Their way was okay, but the hockey team has it down pat. They've been doing this for a long time. So I think they started implementing some really positive changes towards the end, and we'll see. We'll just see. But I like supporting our local teams. It's fun to have something that's family friendly that you can get out to that's not going to cost an arm and a leg. I heard a weird noise and I thought maybe my son accidentally ran into my garage, but he's not home yet. So we're good. We're good. Yeah, and that's about all I've been up to. I haven't had a lot of time to really diamond paint. I actually missed like 5 or 6 days. Just life got busy. You know how it is, and that's okay. I have gotten back into the groove of things, and today's the first day I've actually been able to sit down and do some filming, which has been really nice. I missed y'all, and I miss I love doing the WIP and chat. I miss all of it, really. I'm really hoping once things die down, and now that my son's feeling more confident with driving, I'll have more time to really kind of create a filming schedule. That's my goal, is to kind of get on a little schedule. Yeah, and be more consistent. Diamond painting wise, y'all, I used up my diamond painting savings account. I went a little buck wild this month. But in my defense, one, it was in my savings account. And two, with the tariff situation, some of our small diamond painting shops have been hit really hard. And so they were just kind of saying like, hey, if you really want to help us, we're doing the sale to help raise funds for the, shipments that we're trying to get out of customs that maybe are getting hit with that tariff. So I had already wanted to buy kits from these shops. I just hadn't really budgeted for it yet. So I went ahead and just kind of upped the timeline of when I would buy kits. One of them I just filmed an unboxing for, and I'm probably going to put that up soon. But it was from a shop that I've been following that I really wanted to buy from. Just the kits that I really wanted have been out of stock, and this one kit just happened to come in stock during this time frame. So I went ahead and got that. And then I got one from a shop. I bought some kits from 3 shops that I've never worked on before. So I'm really excited. One came in, one shop, a kit came in, but it was not what I ordered. So I had to contact the person and let them know, and we're going to swap it out and fix it. That actually happened to me twice. So Oraloa, I did an unboxing for their mystery kit, and I had ordered another kit with that mystery kit order, and I received something else. I didn't receive the kit that I wanted, and then unfortunately the kit that I really wanted had already sold out by the time they got my order to me. So it was really, I mean, it was disappointing, but mistakes happen. You know, it was just a fluke. It was a barcode mix-up. And I mean, it was disappointing because I was really, really excited to work on that one kit that I wanted. However, I just in fact shipped off. Are you gonna lay down? What do you have on you? I just shipped off the wrong thing that they sent me. They didn't even send me a diamond painting. It was this other product that looked cool, but just wasn't what I ordered, and it wasn't really a piece of artwork that I would have wanted to work on. So I shipped that off this weekend, and then when they receive it, they'll ship me the replacement kit that I picked. So they made it right, like I'm not throwing shade at them. As soon as I saw that my order wasn't right, I let them know, and we worked together to come up with the solution that is good. I would have taken a refund, but the fact that they were just willing to replace it with another kit was fine with me. Not the kit that I'm in love with and I really want, but that's okay. When it comes in stock, I will buy it. That's fine. But I'm really excited. I will definitely unbox the replacement kit when I get it. I do like it. I just wasn't quite in love with it as much as I was for the other one. So it happens. And then this other one that I had received that wasn't one that I ordered. Like I said, I don't know what happened. I had ordered it and then I didn't hear anything from them. So I reached out and she's like, oh yeah, your kit's, she sent me a shot of the shipping label and mailed it. And so when I got it, it looked like it was in a long box, like a diamond painting kit. And then when I opened it up, I was like, well, this isn't at all what I ordered. So yeah, just a complete mix-up because I'd ordered 4 little canvases that are flowers, and I got one big canvas that is not something that I would want to work on. It just wasn't my style at all. So again, let them know, and they fixed it. And that these things happen, especially I think maybe when there's an influx of people trying to buy, maybe panic buying. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. So I will definitely share what I've received when I get them. Okay, I am looking for, you think I would know where all my colors are by now, but I don't always. I was looking for this one. And then Diamond Art Club got me a few times with some new releases. I had points though, so I really didn't come out any money. One of them was one that I'm really surprised I wanted because it's not really a style that I'm normally gravitate to, but I really, really liked it. So I went ahead and got it. And then Dreamer Designs got me. Dreamer Designs has been running these really cool sales lately. It's usually on Mondays where they do buy one, get one, certain percent off. But it's only from a select few canvases. So normally when they're doing that, I find one canvas that I really like, and then the other ones are just not ones that I want. But this time they had buy one, get one 95% off. So basically buy one, get one free on Halloween kits. And so they got me. They got me with their Curtis Reikovich's that had already been on my wish list. And then I picked up this Halloween mystery kit that I had in my wish list, and I just never decided I wanted to get it. So yeah, they got me pretty good, but it's hard to resist buy one, get one 95% off. I'm really going to have to, hold on one second. I'm really putting myself on a very strict low buy starting in May. Because I also bought some kits from Jaded Gem Shop. I bought these though a while ago, and they're shipping to me. They'll be here in a while, probably end of next week, maybe. But that's fine. I know that Jaded, hey, good boy. Yeah, I bought the Jaded Gem Shop kits a while ago, and then she had reached out and asked me if I wanted to split my orders up because some were already in her on site, we'll say, ready to ship, and then some were still pending shipment from overseas. And I told her, whatever works for you is fine with me. I'm not in a rush. So she split them up, and now I have some coming in one order in one shipment, and then the rest are coming in another shipment, which I'm super excited about. I really like Jada Gem Shop, and she's kind of been going through a rough time. She lost her abuelita, which I believe is aunt in Spanish, right? Because abuela is grandma. And so she was kind of doing a fundraiser to kind of help cover funeral expenses and all of that. And then with the tariffs and everything, she just didn't really know if she was going to have the money to get her stuff out of customs. So she was kind of doing a fundraiser for that. That was like another shop that I purchased from that is pending shipping for the kit. It had the same thing, like their emergency fund was getting depleted trying to get their current stock out of customs. So they were kind of doing a little bit of a fundraiser to kind of help raise funds for the next shipments while they try to figure out, can they drop ship from their factory in China, or are they going to have to ship to the US and then pay the tariff? And if so, how much is that going to be? And are they going to have to raise price? It's just so much. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot that these little businesses really have to put in thought into, and that they don't, like, I think bigger companies are probably getting hit with this too. And I'm not really here to get into politics about it, just because I don't know much about tariffs. I just know that I see these little shops really trying to get creative because, everything's expensive right now, pre-tariffs. And they know that if they raise their prices too much, they're going to lose business. But if they don't raise their prices enough to cover the added expense on their end, they're not going to make money. And even though some people don't like companies making money, the only way companies stay in business is by making money, right? So it's a fine line between making enough money to be profitable and charging your customers so much money that you price them out of being able to purchase. And diamond painting can be an expensive hobby. There are ways it can be less expensive. In fact, I just went to Hobby Lobby just to look around, and they had this really cute, I'll take a picture and put it up here. They had these really cute diamond painting canvases, and it was $7.99. And when I checked out, it ended up being like $5. So, squirreled there, but there are ways you can have less expensive diamond painting experience. But these little shops, they're not really able to cut their prices like maybe some bigger companies can. So I like being able to try to support them. I mean, my goal this year anyway was to support more little shops, because I really like the variety of art that they have, and I like trying different styles, and I like seeing different qualities and drills, and I like that so many people have great suggestions about little shops. So I really hope that they're able to weather this uncertain time, and that they come out okay, and that we can continue getting our diamond painting canvases from these little companies as well. I think there's so many awesome places and so many different awesome artists that maybe aren't signed by these big companies, that it's just a lot of fun. It's really cool. And Jada Gem Shop is one of the ones that has just a really cool aesthetic. She really finds really neat artwork. She does a mix of computer rendering, and then she also has been doing hand rendering. And computer rendering, if you're not quite sure, like this is hand rendered. So someone has gone in on the computer or whatever and has gone in and touched up things and made things really nice and crisp. And a computer render, the computer is just kind of converting the image to like a PDF grid, I guess. I don't know, but it's not. It can be, both are good. Computer rendering, from what I've kind of seen and what I've kind of worked on, just has a little more confetti and sometimes just random colors where, like right here, maybe there would be like a yellow and a green somewhere that doesn't really make sense to the eye up close, but then when you look far away, it kind of blends in. Whereas a hand rendering, maybe they'll say, you know what, that's really not necessary, and convert it to a different color just to make things a little easier, a little more crisper. I like both. I mean, I don't know enough to really have a firm opinion. I haven't worked a lot of computer rendered canvases. Most of my canvases, I'm fortunate enough that most of them have been hand rendered, and so I'm really used to these nice crisp lines. The canvas I'm working on, from the one with the diamond art, Afternoon Chic, I believe that one is more computer rendered, and it definitely is pretty confetti heavy. And sometimes there are just random colors that sometimes I follow, and sometimes I'm like, nope, I'm not digging through to get one random yellow in the sea of pink. And I haven't really seen me making, like, I don't think it's made a difference negatively. So that's the difference. But, you know, like I said, I like really being able to support small shops. I like being able to see the different art. I'm not a fan of the real AI heavy art. That's just my personal aesthetic. There's a lot of it that I don't know. There are artists who put out a ton of work, and it's all so random that it's because it's AI generated. And I kind of like seeing artwork from artists, and I'm able to tell, like, yeah, that's a so-and-so, like, oh yeah, that's a Margaret Morales, or oh yeah, that's a Peggy Collins, or a Cat Fedora. I like doing that. But also I've noticed that my tastes have changed as well. I'm not anti-AI. I just think I really more prefer the artist doing most of the work. Peggy Collins will use AI to help kind of enhance her artwork, and then she'll go in and do her stuff, her add her aesthetic, I guess you could say. A lot of them do that, and I don't mind that at all. But I also don't know a lot about AI and AI art. I just know that I like the human element to it. Yeah. So that is that. So I will definitely like to share what I have purchased, especially from those small shops. I don't think I have anything else for diamond painting. I want to work on, I'm really craving new starts, but here's what I'm thinking. So I have the one that I'm starting in May, Written in the Stars. That's for an event by Ivy Dolomar. And my other thought, because I only have 2 rows left in Biological Key, finally, and Black Cat Night. Black Cat Night's moving faster than I anticipated, which is awesome. I'm super excited. So I think I'm going to hold off on new starts until I get those 2 out of the way. And then I don't know how I'm going to pick my next. Well, I know there's one kit that I'm going to work on, and that is Jada Gem Shop's Spring Mystery Kit that is on its way. It's by Chrisabug is the artwork. And I saw a sneak peek of the color palette, and I'm really excited. I don't know much about Chrisabug art to know what this piece of art will be, but I'm super excited. and I don't really want to be spoiled on it. I like kind of not knowing what these ones are. But once it comes in, I'll definitely unbox it. The cool thing about her mystery canvases is that the canvas is covered in a thick black plastic, so I can pull it out and you can't see the image at all. You can't see the canvas that it's covering. So I'm not going to spoil anyone on that. The hard part about the black plastic canvas is it's kind of hard to work with, and the way I ended up working on the winter one is I would fold the canvas down, the plastic cover down, and put my release paper, and then kind of trim off that excess plastic. I did accidentally cut into my canvas at first because I don't know, I just didn't really know what I was doing. But I came up with a better system for not cutting the canvas. But sometimes when you fold your black plastic cover down, you kind of reveal part of that image to yourself, which ends up not really being that big of a deal. But I'm going to try to keep the mystery as possible by quickly placing release papers down so I don't really ruin the image for myself. All right, I'm going to work on one more color, and then I'm going to end it because I'm expecting my son to start heading home soon from work, and I'm getting a little, I don't want to say nervous, but definitely, I don't know. I'm just really excited. I want to hear how his drive went, and I don't know what else. Okay, so let's talk about reading. I haven't really been reading books, but I've been listening to books on audio. So I've still been listening to Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I have not finished it. In fact, I just started listening to it again. So Spotify Premium has this deal where you can get audiobooks and listen to them, but you're only allowed to listen to so many hours a month, and then when you run out, you can purchase more hours. But I'm not doing that. So I ran out of listening hours for most of the month of April. So I went back to my Audible, which has a bunch of books that I just haven't gotten to yet. And I ended up listening to The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. And I'm not a huge Kristen Hanna fan. I've only listened to one other book of hers, and that was The Women. So The Woman takes place during the Vietnam War. And I liked the first half of the book. I thought she did a really good job of kind of bringing you to the trenches of Vietnam, to the field hospitals of Vietnam, and it was really tough but good read. But I just wasn't a fan of the main character that much. She kind of just got on my nerves sometimes. I can't really explain it. She just did. And then the last half of the book, I just struggled with, but I finished it. But this time around, I listened to The Nightingale, and The Nightingale takes place during World War II. It takes place in France, and it's about these two sisters, one who lives in like the countryside and one who lives in Paris, the younger one, and just kind of like their journey or what they go through during the war. Like the oldest sister is married and has a daughter and is a school teacher, and her husband, of course, leaves to fight for France, and it becomes a prisoner of war, and she ends up having to, France gets invaded by the Germans, and the older sister ends up having to have a German officer living in her house, and so that's her kind of like her struggle. Her best friend is Jewish, and so it's kind of her dealing with the fallout of that, and her story was really interesting. And then the younger sister is kind of like a wild, willful sister who has run away from boarding schools numerous times and ends up kind of joining the French resistance. And that's all I'll say. But it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I was hooked on it. Like, I didn't want to stop listening to it. And then I'm listening to, what else am I listening to? There's another book. Oh, The Serpent and the Wolf, I think. And I don't remember who that's by, but it's just okay. I'm not really enjoying it. It's a, I don't know if it's a, I guess you could say it's a fantasy. It's about this woman who is married off to this rival kingdom, and she hates her, she thinks she hates that kingdom and her husband, but I think she's going to end up realizing like she has more in common with him than with her brutal brother who rules the other kingdom. And I'm not really sure. I don't know how that's going to go. The story's okay. The writing's okay. The narrator, the lady who's narrating it, is just not doing it for me. Oh, I did read another. I listened to another book. That's what I was trying to remember. That one is called The Starless Sea by, I think it's Erin Morgenstern. She wrote a series called The Night Circus, which was pretty good. And The Starless Sea was really, really interesting. It is basically like the main story, but then there's other stories that are being told in alternating chapters. It's really, if you like books and you like stories, I think you might like it. It's very interesting. It's about this guy named Zachary Ezra Rollins, and the only reason I really remember his name is because every time his chapter starts, they always reference his name. But he is the son of a fortune teller, and he ends up kind of finding this like underground library and this magical world. And then the other half of the story is basically like stories within this book that he found. And then there's also kind of stories about this other person, these other people. And then, yeah, it's just really unique. It's really unique and it's entertaining. And I walked away not quite, I felt like it was a little too long. Like it lasted a little too long for me. Kind of losing my interest. But I enjoyed it. I thought that, I got my money's worth out of it, my credit anyways. So yeah, I haven't really been physically reading any books. I've been going to bed, starting a book, and then falling asleep. So I haven't really been physically reading anything. Watching, my son and I have been watching the new season of The Last of Us. I'm not going to talk about it. We've only watched the first 2 episodes, and yeah, it's got me hooked. It's got me. That's all I'll say. Maybe when the season's over, I'll talk about it. So if you don't know, The Last of Us, it's based off of a video game, and the first season kind of followed the first video game, and my son says the second one is kind of following the second video game, so we'll see. He kind of forewarned me what to expect, which I didn't mind. I appreciate, because yeah, I'm kind of glad I was forewarned. And then I've been watching Survivor, and I have to catch up on Amazing Race. And then I didn't realize that Top Chef started again. So I've been watching, or I want to watch that. And Spring Baking Championship, it's on the Food Network or on Max. Those are like things that I'll put on when I don't know what else I want to watch. Video games. So I do like to play video games, and the makers of the Elder Scrolls, I think it's Bethesda. Anyways, they re-released and remastered Oblivion, which I've never played before. I've only really played Skyrim, and I love Skyrim. My best friend and I were just talking about Skyrim the other day because she restarted Skyrim. I've never finished Skyrim. Like, I will play and play and play, and I'll really just explore and do side quests, and I've never finished the main storyline. And I laugh because in Skyrim, there comes a point where you can kind of purchase this like property and build your own house, and I've always gotten to that point where I've done it and then I'll start building it, and then maybe I won't play for a long time. So if I log back in, I can't find where that house is on the map because it's not marked like Jesse's house. It's named something, and I lose that house every single time I stop and try to get back into playing after months. It just cracks me up. Anyway, I started Oblivion last night, and so far I like it. It's not as pretty as Skyrim is, like the scenery and stuff, but it's also an older game, so that's okay. The storyline seems pretty interesting, and we'll see. My son seemed to be uh, interested. He sat and watched me play for a while, which is always kind of, I don't know, a little nerve-wracking. Because he was making fun of me because I kept messing something up. I just wasn't used to I was still getting used to all the different controls. So I was trying to access my favorites menu to pull up my sword instead of my bow, and I couldn't do it, and I kept getting attacked while I was trying to figure it out, and he just thought that was hilarious, which it was. It's also frustrating, but I got it figured out. That's about it. I haven't really been playing. I was playing Hogwarts Legacy, and then I don't know. I don't play video games very often, so I have a hard time picking. I have so many hobbies. It's just hard to pick. I think I might actually end up running out of this color. Oh no, I have more of this color. Okay, I have more somewhere else. Speaking of hobbies, I'll show you something that I just got. These are my favorite cross-stitch kits. I just got this. Let me see if it's in the frame. Yeah, I just got this. It's a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Christmas cross-stitch. And it comes with everything that you need. So these are all the beads that you'll put on. The floss. This is perforated paper. And then you have your your inventory and then your charts in here too. But this is what it'll look like. And I really like these because they're not very big. And I mean, it's like 5.25 by 5.25 inches. And you can buy these really cool frames. They're not very expensive. So when you finish it, you can just throw it in this frame and you don't have to worry about it. You can give it as a present, hang it up in your house, whatever you want to do. I love this little peppermint button. I think that is so cute. But I've completed one Christmas one, and then I saw this when I was on Etsy at the shop that I like, so I went ahead and got it. And then if you see here, there's a few from this series, this season, I guess you could say. I really like this one. I like the snowmen. I'm a sucker for, you'll see this at diamond painting as well. Christmas and Halloween cross stitch is my Jimmy Jam. I love it. So yeah, when will I do this? I don't know. I might take this to my friend's house when her and I hang out and watch Supernatural, because she'll cross stitch, and so I might cross stitch while we're watching that. It should work up pretty fast. And when I start it, I'll definitely keep y'all updated just for fun. All right, well, this is where I'm going to stop. I'm going to work on this in a little bit, but there's grown-up stuff I have to do. I need to start figuring out what I'm going to cook for dinner, and then I want to vacuum, sweep, mop, and get the laundry done before work starts on Monday. So thank you guys so much for letting me ramble. Thanks for letting the cats guest star every now and then. Hey, if you have any suggestions or any tips, any ideas, just let me know. I'm having fun, but I hope you are too. And I will talk to you later. You guys take care now. Bye.